Hi. I'm not gonna get on camera today. I've been off work sick, but I just had to come on and speak on the situation with Bill Cosby. Um, See the headline: Bill Cosby, sex criminal, and they go on to talk about him and the situation and everything. And first, I want to say this. I want to say, I have mixed feelings. One, because of the length of time it took these ladies to come forward. I know there was a settlement with the one lady, and there was a privacy thing where she wasn't supposed to speak. Well, now that she's spoken, is she required to repay the money back that he paid her? And did he pay her out of guilt or just to make the situation go away? Because, you know, when you're a person of power and with a lot of money, a lot of situations occur. And I think that what they advise them to do, as opposed to going public and having to defend your character, they go ahead and pay. You know, I've heard them say it and I've seen it on television. It's just cheaper to pay to make it go away. You know, and my sister say all the time, a heap see but a few know. Everything is not always what you see and what you hear. Now, as a female, I have been subjected to some things, not as severe as what they say. I may have had a person that you know that groped me or whatever, and I told them right then to stop or whatever. I don't know, y'all. I just have mixed feelings. I'm looking at Bill Cosby, and I'm looking at, you know, his legacy. The person he was, the person he portrayed on television and everything. And I know that he's also a man. You understand? But then I have to look at it and be neutral. Just walking a straight line. Not forming opinions based on what somebody say, but just on the facts. You know what I'm saying? Just on facts, not on what you heard, not oh, excuse me, oh my God, not on what you may have seen, but on facts. What are the facts? Was the case built on he say, she say? Was there any DNA evidence to persuade me to either say he's innocent or that he's guilty? As a male, do you look at it as, oh, he's wealthy, he thinks that he can do what he want to do? You can take that approach. I mean, because you have a right to excuse me. You have a right to form your opinion on whatever you want, but I form my opinion on facts. And because of the line of work I'm in, I have to do that. But here's my issue with it. And I know sometimes, you know, kids have something that happened to them and they wait years, decades before they say anything. So, with these women, these positions that you were in, could you have told anyone about this before all of this came out? Who was the first one to make the accusations, and what did they do with it at the time? Now, it was several women, but I know it was only one that he paid. So, did all this start after it leaked that he paid somebody? Or did it start after, because I had heard that they said that he was in the initiating process of buying Time Warner? Like I said, this is hearsay also. But what I'm saying is, you have to realize, and you have to be open-minded to not believe everything everybody say. This is not to negate what these women said happened. We don't know, we weren't there. But my thing is, if I'm going to sentence a man to 10 years for each count of something he's done as a juror, I would have to have some kind of facts. Something. I couldn't consciously, as a juror, sit there and say, okay, I'm going to find him guilty because she said it happened. Were there any witnesses to anyone? See, that's what I'm saying. It's so much that I don't know. So, from what I gather, from what I've seen, I haven't found him in my heart guilty. I mean, if the information becomes public where I can read it and see for myself, I may believe it. But as it stands right now, I have a hard time believing it. Not to say that a person of his stature status couldn't be guilty, because they can. That's not what I'm saying. But I also know that you can be subject to a lot of things that involve money. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I have seen that this happen. A lot of times there's a person, a very wealthy person, they're getting ready to make a major purchase or a major move, and something happens to bring their character all the way down. But thank God that we have a judge that sits high and looks low, because he knows the answer. You know, when you start digging pits for people, just be careful. You know, I just think that when he was in his prime, and when he had these shows and he was America's dad, that was the time to do that. Not wait until he get to be so old to, you know, he really just now, what the thing now is just maintaining his, you know, his health, his quality of life. But to me, to make these accusations now, they should have been made when he was more vibrant, when he had these successful shows and everything. It would have stuck with me. I would have been like, wow, he really did that. If it happened 2 weeks ago. But how many years? When was the first accusation made? By who? Is there any DNA evidence? Was it consensual or not? Is there going to be any civil suits to pursue? You understand what I'm saying? It's just a lot for me. I don't know everything because I wasn't there. So I can't say. All I can say right now, in all honesty, is as a juror, based on what I've seen, and like I say, we're not privy to all the information, but based on what I've seen, and one of the attorneys, I think they said, was a witch hunt. That's how it appears to me. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not a judge. I wasn't a juror. I'm not an attorney. But like I said, I base my opinions. Excuse me. I base my conclusion on facts, not opinions. Excuse me. So, to all of the victims and Mr. Cosby, I'm sorry that you all had to go through that. God is still love. I still believe in love to all people. God says, love ye one another. It says, love everybody. Let me be the judge of them. So that's what we have to do. I mean, it's just, y'all, I don't even know. All I can say is that going forward, men, I'm talking to men now, going forward, if you're a man if you're a wealthy man, and you're highly visible in the public, I would suggest to you, if you're going to visit a female that you're not married to, it's getting to the point where it's like that, y'all. If you're not married to that female, if you're going to see her, have you a bodyguard or somebody there with you? It may sound crazy. Girl, you crazy. I may be crazy, but guess what? You could protect yourself. I mean, as a single female, when I have to call my pastor for anything, I go through his wife. And my first lady was like, you don't have to do that. Yes, I do, because I'm single and he's a married man. I just feel better doing it that way. You have to always look, for every action, there's a consequence. Would things have been different if there was always somebody there with him? I think so. Because at least he would have a person there who could say, yeah, that did happen, or no, it didn't. Whether that person will be right or wrong, they'll be on him if he want to commit perjury or not. But I'm just saying, y'all, it's getting bad out here. And for the females, try not to put yourself in those positions. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've read about women who their whole life are groomed to hobnob with wealthy, professional, baseball, basketball, NFL players, actors, and things of such. Their whole life, they're groomed. They even have calendars, of these people's events, and they fly to where these men are. So, you know, you just have to really, really be careful. And you know what? A lot of times people look at, oh, she's beautiful and she's this and she's that. You better start looking at the heart. Because, baby, looks can fade. They can change. They can be augmented. But what you want to do is you get somebody to have God in their life who's going to love you in spite of the wealth. If you lose it all, will she still be there? You understand what I'm saying? If she love you because you fine and bow-legged, what happened to you if you can't walk? You understand what I'm saying? We're looking at the wrong things in people. I mean, my thing when I was younger, I wanted light, bright, darn near white. Well, you know what I want now? I want somebody that's got a heart for Jesus, who's going to love me through thick and thin, sickness and in health. So y'all, I'm telling y'all, the world we living in is not like it was when we were kids. It wasn't like in the country where you could leave your doors open. I had a friend the other day that came back in the house to get a lunch and went back out. Her car was gone. What that may have taken 2-3 minutes. Vehicle was gone. I don't even know if she found it. I'm just saying, y'all, be careful. Protect yourself. And a lot of times we don't think about things. We just act on impulse. I'm telling you, young men, especially you wealthy men, you probably won't even see this. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because you just don't ever know. You don't know what the situation, what a person's intent is. So, I'm sure these ladies and Mr. Cosby would have done things differently if they knew that it would have resulted in this. But what I can say is, going forward, if something like this happened to you, don't wait decades to tell it. If something like that happened to you today, you go tomorrow, and because if you were penetrated and you were drugged, should be some evidence of forced relations or whatever. So y'all, I'm just saying, protect yourself. I don't care who you are. So this won't have to happen to anybody else. But God is still God. He still sits high and he looks low, and he loves us all. And so at the end, you got to give account of your actions. So that's all I'm going to say on that. It's a kind of a sad, sad day, because he's one of the first Hollywood stars to be convicted. And again, just like here in a town very close to me, we had 2 deputy marshals. One of them had 60-year sentence. He was shooting up a car with a man was running, where the guy had actually stopped the car, but he had run from the police. And they shot up the car, and just so happened it was a 6-year-old boy in the car that got killed. One of those deputies got 60 years, and the other one I think got 7 now, because he didn't fire as many shots. But I'm saying, when justice start getting served, we as African Americans are the first ones that are made. We're made to we're the example to be set. So take care of yourselves, whoever you are. God loves you, and so do I. Prayers for all involved in this situation here, because they need it. God is love. Love everybody.